Florida State. Florida State, 9.5-point home favorites, 58 the total. This game is taking place on Friday night. I got to admit, and credit to Mike Norvell, credit to Florida State. I thought for sure that against the Cajuns last week, maybe they wouldn't be fully locked in. Maybe they wouldn't be focused. Well, they were focused. They did no look ahead to Florida whatsoever. They were better than the Cajuns. They drilled them early, and they cruised, and then they rolled to a 49-17 win. 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread. Florida State the last 4 weeks wins by 25, by 42, by 35, and by 28. They are by 32, I should say, against ULL. They are pulverizing teams right now. I ain't stepping in front of Florida State. Now, am I going to lay the 9.5? I don't know. What I do know is Florida did have, a bit of the look ahead syndrome. They lost to Vanderbilt, 13.5-point favorites. They lose 31-24. To me, that's what's concerning about taking the points with Florida. It feels like, now there's no longer much of a bargain to back Florida State. They're adjusting to how well this team's playing on both sides of the football right now. But there is a difference right now with these two teams defensively. Florida defensively, 100th in total yards allowed per game. Florida State, 11th. Passing yards per game allowed, Florida 86th in the country, Florida State 4th. Florida defense 97th in rushing yards per game allowed, Florida State 52nd going into this game. So all the defensive numbers are much better for Florida State. It does, I'm not one to really love laying this kind of number in a rivalry game, but I could only take Seminoles here. They are rolling, they are playing great, and when you look at also what's gone on here the last few years here, Florida State and Florida head-to-head. Florida has won each of the last 3, but this is the best Florida State team of the bunch. There were some bad Florida State teams each of the last 3 years. This is their best team by far. They probably come into this game thinking, we think we're better than them finally. We've lost 3 in a row to them. I wouldn't be interested in stepping in Florida State's way here, because I think not only do they want to finally beat this Florida team, they may want to send a message and beat them up. So I think it's possible they could get a double-digit win here. I don't, like I said, don't know if I'll bet Florida State, but it's the only side I would consider. What do you think here, Conor?
Yeah, this is interesting. I don't know. I wonder if this game gets over 10. I think this just stays right here. Maybe it does, though. Then I might look at Florida. And I was faded with Vandy. Vandy took care of business against the Gators. I think if somebody mentioned on the show, Florida not very good, especially on the road this year, especially laying numbers. But they haven't been a dog like this. I wonder when's the last time they've almost been a 10-point dog. Yep. I'd have to look that up after the show. But man, Florida State just red hot. You got to tip their cap. The defense is playing great. Travis just consistent, not crazy. He hasn't had to be. And, they've just been kicking teams' ass lately. But I don't blame anyone, Florida State. This just seems, you do this for so long, Florida State's cruising, and then they lay a number that probably was not going to be this 3 or 4 weeks ago. And this is where, they get beat, especially if it gets over 10. They don't cover the number. Florida does, especially with a rivalry game.